What is up, guys? Welcome back. Took a little week off last week. We had a little trouble with the internet. Plus, I tried to upload videos from my phone. Just wasn't working. So, without further ado, we are going into the Week 4 scoreboard. We had a lot of good matchups last week. Actually, quite a few matchups were decided by one of the last games. Last night on Monday night. A lot of close games, guys, for real. Had, a big time. And just threw me off. Brock scoring 133 and losing. It's just one of those unfortunate incidents where, the matchup, it sucks. He would have beaten anybody else in the league, but, he unfortunately played Jabby, who scores in bunches. So, going on to the other matchup, it was me against Nico. I took the win with this one, 123-68. My leading scorer is Adrian Peterson. He had a huge game, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was led by Andrew Luck with 19. Nobody else really got it on his team going except Jordan Cameron, who had 15. And my team, Arian Foster, showed up as well with 23. So Jeff, so much for that Seahawks schedule. But Moreno and Tony Romo also led me with double digits, as well as the Chiefs D, who continues to stroke it with 20. On to another great matchup. This one was really close. It's Jeff against Ashley. Jeff pulling out the victory, 97 to Ashley's 91. Super close game. Jeff was led by Matt Ryan with 22.8. Also had double digits from Julio Jones, Dwayne Bowe, and Trent Richardson as well. 49ers D got him a solid 15. For Ashley, kicker got a 14. Frank Gore with 19 leading the way. And double digits from Calvin, Pierre Garçon, and Russell Wilson with 10.6. So a pretty close matchup, but drops Ashley to 1-3. Makes Jeff 2-2. Back to a real close matchup that came down to Monday night was Joe losing to Aaron. Drops Joe to 2-2. Makes Aaron 3-1. Second place in the AFC is Aaron pulls out the real close victory, 101.1 to 109.4. Came down to the very last game, guys. Lamar Miller pretty much going up against Jimmy Graham. I think he also had, feel like Joe had somebody else going, maybe not. But anyway, great matchup. Aaron was led by Reggie Bush, who just went insane, had 23. Jimmy Graham continues to just dazzle at 22. David Akers with 18. Ryan Broyles put up a goose egg, but it didn't matter. For her, Joe led by a great pickup with Alex Smith, and he had 23. Other than that, double digits from Lamar Miller, Jamal Charles, Larry Fitzgerald, kicker and defense. So, great plays by Joe, but in the end, he lost by less than 2, which is just crazy. So. Nobody really else he would have started. He wasn't going to start Woodhead over anybody else who had 20 on Joe's bench. But then again, Alshon Jeffrey for the Bears had a huge game. Had 107 yards and a touchdown. Also had quite a few rushing yards at 27. So, he could have started him in place of Ryan Broyles, but Aaron, being the homer that he was going to start the Lions. So, on to the next matchup, guys, which was a huge matchup. Came down to pretty much Monday night as well as Sunday night game. Brock scoring 133, but Jabby doing a little bit more at 144.7. Both teams had great play all around. You had Jabby being led by Peyton Manning with 29.1. Demarius Thomas had 20.6. Antonio Gates had a huge game with 19, and then Nicole Stee had 22. Reggie Wayne also 16. Fred Jackson 14. I mean, it was crazy. A lot of scoring there. Marcus Colston had 96 yards last night to pretty much seal the deal. If he would have gotten shut down, Brock would have won this game. But going on to Brock's team, Tom Brady finally had a great game, 20.4 there. Forte and Kenbrell Tompkins each had 17 and 18 respectively. Obviously, Des Bryant had a huge game, as well as Tony Gonzalez on Sunday night with 26.9 leading the way. So tough loss for Brock, drops from the 2-2. Jabby also 2-2 now. So both teams, obviously still in the thick of it for the playoffs. Last game, which was another super close game, decided by 3, actually just about 4 points, was Mike and Jared here. Both are bottom-dwelling teams. Jared finally got that elusive first win, even with a bad start with E.J. Manuel only getting a 4.8, but he was led by Torrey Smith with 22.6, and Quan Knight 15. Lynch had 18.3. So great starts there for Jared. On the Mike's team, great play from Drew Brees, obviously. 32.7, he's getting you that every time. And Victor Cruz continues to show out, had 22.4. Titans D had 22 as well, but it just wasn't enough for Mike. What really killed Mike was all his St. Louis Rams players. Jared Cook only had 4.5. Tavon Austin had 0.6. Daryl Richardson at 2.4. So, I mean, Mike really could have rolled with anybody else there. Probably Roddy White in there. Mike Williams even would have been a great player, would have got on the W, but hey, can't go back on that. So, that is the Week 4 scoreboards, guys. Looking at the league standings real quick right now. In the NFC, 4 teams tied for first. We got Javi, then Brock, Nico, and Jeff tied at 2-2, and then Jared behind at 1-3. So that division could actually, if Jared wins this week, could be all sorts of crazy. And then if you're looking at the AFC, got me at 4-0, Aaron at 3-1, Joe at 2-2, and then Ashley and Mike sitting at 1-3 on the bottom there. So as you guys can tell, it's going to be just like last year. I definitely expect to see a lot of the teams beating each other up pretty much down the stretch. And, like I said, you're going to see a 7-6 team make the playoffs. I just have that feeling like it's going to be that way again. So we'll see what happens. But let's jump right into the Week 5 predictions and looking at the scores and projections and whatnot. First of all, we got me against Ashley, same division here. This is a big game for her. I got Adrian Peterson on the bye week, as well as Vincent Jackson, who hasn't really done much anyway. But this could be a big week for her if she can pull out the victory, which I think she might. It's the trap game for me. I'm projected to win 99-69, but I think she still has to insert somebody in for her bye week. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I need Foster to really show up against a tough matchup. Yeah, she's got 2 guys starting right now on the bye. So, projections will be a lot closer when she fixes that. And, it should be a really close matchup, though, with 2 division teams going at it. So it's going to be a close game. On to the next one. This is probably matchup of the week, no doubt. It's going to be Jobby at Aaron Prespolinski. You got NSYNC. Both teams score a shit ton of points. We got Jobby projected 127 to Aaron's 110. Neither team that I can tell have anybody important on the bye. So nobody's hurting there. So it's going to just be a slugfest. And you're going to see the projections in the 110s, 120s for that scoring. So I'll obviously write my projections down to who I think is really going to win. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup. Definitely matchup of the week. Jeff and Jared rematch of the championship last year. Right now you got Jeff projected to win 108 to 102, so a very close matchup there. Haven't really looked at the matchups. I'm going to get a little more in-depth once I actually pop on the screen and get to type in everything, so I got to get going back to work soon. Next one, Joe and Mike. Both teams obviously still fighting, need to win. Joe is projected to lose to Mike 101-92. We'll see how that actually fares out. I think Joe actually needs to switch somebody out. He's got somebody on the bye. I was just talking to Mike about it. Obviously, another huge matchup here. Both teams kind of in the thick of their divisions, especially those 2 fighting for a second spot. In the NFC division, got Brock and Nico. Brock's projected to lose to Joe, to Nico 107 to 102. So, guys, a lot of close projections, obviously, that never pan out. But the way our season's been going, the more we progress in the weeks, the closer these games get. So make sure you guys scope out who's on the bye, get your roster switched out. If you're Ashley, don't switch out your byes. I'll take goose eggs. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. The season just keeps on rolling. I can't believe it's already Week 5. We're getting, almost to the halfway point. Usually Week 6, Week 7 is our halfway point for the season. So, hey, we keep rolling on. Trades are kind of slowing down a little bit. Waiver wire still pretty active this morning with some pickups, covering the buys and whatnot. But other than that, league activity is pretty shitty, I'm not going to lie. Last week I think there was only like 2 votes per matchup on the scoreboard, and not a lot of projection talking. Nobody's talking on the polls. So, I'm pretty disappointed. I'm not going to lie. So, oh well, you guys paid your money. It's your league. You can do what you want with it. But I was just hoping a little more activity. So maybe it picks up this week, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, that's all I have. So if you have any questions or concerns, comments for me, let me know. But other than that, that's really all I got.